In today's video, I want to bring to your understanding the subtle and subtle layers of mind. So you see, a thought which arises is subtle in its own nature, but it is still known. There's a knowledge of it, and yes, I know this thought. But there are much subtler layers of mind which are seen in inquiry. And sometimes when we don't have the understanding that I'm about to, share with you, we get caught up and identify in those subtle layers, which aren't as knowable as thoughts. They are subtler than even thoughts. Yet they are still within awareness. They are still observable. So that is what those subtle layers are, what I want to bring to light today. So that as you practice inquiry, you don't fall for those subtle layers. You don't believe in those layers as myself. Okay? And again, I'm going to be using my handy little diagram here. And for the purpose of this video, I'll also say that I have this diagram like this, but it is not necessarily, like an outward, like the thing that goes outward, like awareness, mind, body world. All of this, body world and mind, exists within awareness. Just for the diagram purposes, I have it like this, just to make it easier to explain. Okay? So in inquiry, when you are seeing directly in your experience right now, what is it that knows? What is it that is aware? You see, in inquiry, it's very, very natural, or even in regular meditation, it's very, very natural for all sorts of things to arise. It's just mind playing, trying to keep you in identification, trying to perpetuate this sense of subject-object duality. So all sorts of thoughts will appear, right? So a thought arises, and you say, okay, there's a knowing of that. The thought is observed. It is being known from a deeper place. What this deeper place is, we're not caring what it is right now, okay? It's the fact is that the thought is known. So there is something prior to that thought that is there, that is seeing the thought arise and subside. So, whatever thought arises, maybe it's a thought of fear. Maybe it's like a lot of thoughts that just won't stop. And oftentimes people say, Sunny, how to stop those thoughts? Like, and it's like fearful thoughts or it's negative thoughts. How can I stop these thoughts? And so that's what I say, right? The thoughts are just arising in awareness. The urge to get rid of those thoughts, the urge to fight against those thoughts, to be free of them, the resistance you have towards those thoughts. That in this question, you identify yourself as the one that's resisting these thoughts, the one that wants to get rid of these thoughts. And so I ask you, is that one really you? Is the resistance you have towards these thoughts not also being observed from this deeper place? Is there not a knowing of the resistance that is arising towards the thought? So now you see what I mean by the subtle layer of mind. The subtle layer which you so quickly believe to be yourself. But is that really truly you? So the resistance that arises, that wants to be free of these thoughts, quickly see that even that is in your observation. Even that is known. There's an awareness of that. Now you say, yes, I see that. But still, there's something here that wants to be free of these thoughts, and these thoughts just won't stop. And I understand that. The thoughts that won't stop, is that not also being observed? I'm not just saying this to be clever. I'm not just saying this to be repetitive, but instead to bring you to the fact that it is observed. is the awareness of the resistance against the thoughts, trying to do anything about it. I'll say that again. The resistance to the thoughts is here, but is the awareness of the resistance resisting against it? Is the awareness of the thoughts trying to resist against the thoughts? Is the resistance that is being known? Is there a resistance to even that resistance? And if that was the case, then is that not also being known? So don't let me lose you here. Even the deeper layers that you say, oh, there's still a resistance to that. But is there not an awareness of even that? So see, through this simple little thing, simple little observation, you are always placing yourself as prior to what is observed. Because when you identify as the one that's resisting against the thoughts, that one wants to be rid of these thoughts, you suffer. The moment you bring that under your observation, the moment you recognize, the moment you acknowledge that that is also known, that is also, there's an awareness of even that, that's the moment you break identification automatically, just from the very act of bringing it under your observation. You see, what you bring under your observation can no longer control you unconsciously, can no longer be you. What you are aware of, you are prior to, independent of. So in this way, when you recognize even the subtle layer of resistance towards the thought, wanting to be rid of the thought, you automatically become a little free of that, you see? And there's nothing you have to do about it. You see, like, so right now, then another thought arises that, oh, but what to do? But the thoughts are still here. That voice is also known. So the point of this practice is to again and again establish yourself, to recognize and just simply acknowledge that you are already simply just the awareness of whatever is arising. The moment you identify with what is arising, that is when you suffer. That is when you fall into sort of, this battle. But the moment you recognize that you are the awareness of it, that you are prior to it, that's when you are free of the whole struggle and the battle. Then whatever can be here, there can be a lot of thoughts here or little thoughts here, but you no longer fall into struggle with them. Because, again, I'll say this, even the thought that says, I want to be rid of these thoughts, there's an awareness of the thought, right? Is the awareness of the thought, does it have something to say about that thought? Is it itself resisting that thought? No. There's just an awareness of it. The sad thoughts or the negative thoughts are equally allowed by the same awareness as the happy thoughts or the positive thoughts. There's an equal awareness of the negative thoughts as there is of the happy thoughts. It's also the same with any fear, any emotion, right? Great fear may arise, but there's an awareness of the fear. You are not the fear. The awareness of the fear, is it itself afraid of the fear? A really depressive emotion may arise, but the awareness of it, you have to see that it is known. The emotion is known. By what light is it known? And the knowledge of it, the awareness of it, does that itself have any agenda for it? Is that itself resisting it? Or does the resistance that arises, is that also not known? By what is that known? Again, this is not a way of just, cleverly trying to negate what's arising, but to again and again see that you essentially are just the awareness of whatever is arising. Don't place yourself in what is being observed. See that what is arising, whatever that may be, as subtle as it may be, it is known. Anything that arises is known. You are not that which arises and then subsides. You are not that which comes and then goes. You are the awareness of it. And the more you acknowledge this, the more you establish yourself as the ever-present watcher, the formless witness, the essence and the substance within which all this stuff that comes and goes and dances for a temporary period of time. But no longer do you place yourself in the battle. No longer do you place yourself in the struggle. No longer do you identify it as one that is struggling and doing and resisting and trying to be free. Now, even the one that is trying to be free is also seen. You are just the pure seeing of it. Does the seeing of it have anything to say about it? So you see it like, let's just say in this inquiry, you kind of get a little like mindy with it and you say, oh, no, that is seen too. That is seen too. The words that is seen are also known, but the knowing of those words, does that knowing have anything to say about it? No, it has no words of its own. Any words that arise are known by it. So in this way, you truly free yourself of all objective knowledge and you just rest as the pure knowing. And that itself is the greatest transformation that you can make on this sort of earthly plane. That is the whole essence of this practice. And that is the true freedom, to recognize that you are already free, that you are not any of this, neither were you ever any of this. Thank you for watching this video. Now, here are a couple of ways that I can be of direct help to you right now. Okay, and I'm going to link everything that I mentioned right now in the description box below. So number one is you can join our free Personal Mastery Quest community, our Facebook group, on which you can interact with me personally and ask me all your questions. I love the community over there and I do my best to reply to you as soon as possible. Okay, number two, if you have not yet watched my free Ego to Presence Masterclass, in which I teach you how to implement the teaching of self-inquiry into your life step by step and deepen your meditation and deepen your self-inquiry profoundly, then again, check the link in the description box below and go watch that masterclass. It is 1 hour. It will bring you tremendous value, okay? And now lastly, if you want to work with me and my team personally, and you want me to help you dissolve mind identification and realize your true being, then you can check out my coaching program, the Higher Consciousness Shift. All the details of it are down below in the description box. Just click the link that is under section coaching. Okay, and it'll take you there to my personal website where you can go through all the details and book a free call with me, and we can decide if we're the right fit to work together. That's all for today. I will see you in the next video.